All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. And I just wanted to do my little take on the whole Will Smith situation. So last night when it happened and it started to get out, I was hearing a little bit about it, but I really didn't check into it because, I was tired and I thought it was just like a joke, when I first heard about it last night when I started to see stuff come up. So I thought it was a joke. So I didn't really pay it attention. I was tired and I just, went to sleep. But when I got up this morning and realized that Will Smith actually smacked Chris Rock, I was so shocked. I was so shocked. I mean, I just couldn't believe that that actually went down. So here's my take on the whole situation. Honestly, I feel that Will Smith didn't use good judgment. You understand? To be in his position, the location where it happened, I feel like he really did not use good judgment. You understand? You know, Sometimes stuff happen, but you got to operate. I'm a person that really believe that you have to operate, in self-control. There's in this life, there's stuff that's going to happen. People are going to say stuff, people are going to do things, and you just got to operate in self-control. You can't allow yourself to get out of control. Can you imagine if all of us, allowed ourselves to get out of control when certain things has been said, or people do certain things to us and we just just get out of control. I really believe that Will Smith needed to operate in self-control at that moment. In my opinion, the right thing that he could have done was, maybe said something to Chris afterwards, man, I really didn't appreciate that joke. That joke, didn't sit right with my wife, and they sit down and have a nice man-to-man talk. I felt that that's the way Will, in my opinion, should have handled it, because live TV, come on now, live TV, you are an example for people. And not to mention that, you are a black man. And, it's just so many things that he needed to really uphold and to be mindful of, So I just really feel that he just did not operate in self-control. And what's so crazy about it is that when you go back and watch the video before the slap, Will Smith was laughing his behind off. That's what really just took me. That right there just really took me by surprise, because homeboy was laughing his butt off, and then all of a sudden you just see him get up and then he goes and slap Chris Rock. That just threw me, because I'm like, bruh, you was just laughing. And it wasn't like a little tee hee hee hee. He had his head thrown back and he was like dying, like of laughter. You know what I'm saying? I guess after he saw his wife disposition and face, then he said, he was caught between a rock and a hard place. But, in my opinion, he really should have maybe talked to Chris after, later on, because that just was a bad look. That was just a bad look, Mind you, Chris Rock told a very, a distasteful joke. That's true. He really did. You understand? And it wasn't right. But at the end of the day, he's a comedian, and sometimes they don't get it right, not making an excuse for him. Because I would have been upset as well. You understand? I would have been upset as well, because I understand how she felt. I really do understand how she felt. Yeah, I think yes, Rock, I agree with you. He saw her reaction and it triggered him. But to that point though, like I was saying earlier, can you imagine if all of us, were to just react? Self-control is very important. Can you imagine? Look, I've been told some stuff in my life. People have said stuff, you understand? But you gotta sometimes, especially when we grown folks, sometimes you gotta hold your corner, you know what I'm saying? And try to handle it in a mature way. That was national TV. At the Oscars, with the Oscars issues, they already have a thing where they wasn't really inviting us in, you know what I'm saying? And that just threw us back a whole big loop, in my opinion. Yep. And so you said, I'm trying to read John's comments fast. Oh, you said Chris Rock didn't know about her condition. That's what I said. I was like, I don't think he really knew about her condition, because I don't think he would have been, you know what I'm saying? I think he would have been more mindful of the joke. You know what? I commend him, Chris Rock, on the way he held his corner and didn't turn it into something real big, bigger than what it already is. Like, I'm so glad we didn't see a whole brawl on the stage, because that just would have been like a no. What do you guys think? Do you think that Will Smith will be asked to be at the Oscars again? Like, what do you guys think that this really did to his career, or at least at the moment? What do you guys? Do you think that this kind of like messed him up? Do you think that he's, what do you guys think? I don't know. I was just so shocked. I'm really glad that glad that Chris wasn't reactive. I am so glad, because it already is bad enough that happened. I'm so glad that he didn't do something. And you could tell he was so stunned. He didn't even know what to say. He was just so stunned. And did you guys see how he responded when he was he was the better man. I agree with you. Did you see how he responded when he was when Will Smith was like, keep my wife's name out of your mouth or whatever? And did you see he was like, I will? But he just gave him that look like, man, are we doing this now? Hey, MLW. But did you guys see Chris Rock's face? Like, when he's like, keep his name out of his mouth. And he was just like, I will. But he was just giving, it was so much said in that, the way he said it. He was like, bruh, are we really doing this on national TV? Are we really doing this? You could see it did you, what's the young lady that was sitting behind Will and Jada? The young lady who was sitting behind her, the model, what is her name? Pinga? I know I'm saying that wrong. Did you see her face? Did you guys see her face? She was she was just in disbelief. She didn't even know, she felt, the way she looked is how I felt when I was looking at it. I was like, you know how you get that secondhand embarrassment? Did you guys feel like that? I was like, I felt so embarrassed. It wasn't even me, but I just felt it just felt so embarrassing. And the slap, not only was, he didn't even stop at the slap. Not only that the slap was bad, but then when he was screaming in the background, that took me out. The screams took me out when he was like, keep your name. I was like, oh God. I mean, the slap was bad enough, but couldn't he just have left it? Right? Did you guys feel? I'm like, couldn't he just left it alone? Like he didn't already slap the man. Now he's screaming in the audience. Did anybody see any video of Jada's face after Will went and slapped him and was screaming? And I was looking for his footage, because I wanted to see, okay, was she satisfied with that? Did anybody see any footage of her facial expression after he slapped and was screaming? Because I'm very interested to see. I think she was even shocked. Yeah, that took away from the whole night. I really agree. Rock, I totally agree. Like, and then you know what's so crazy? His speech after he won. And he was up there talking about love and it was crying. Like, bruh, you need to practice what you preach. He was talking about love. And then he was crying. I mean, I was like, that just left a bad taste in my mouth. Because first of all, why did you have to, it just left a bad taste in my mouth, you guys. It just left a bad taste in my mouth. It's like, why did you have to go and do that? And then what made it so bad was it was two brothers, that's the thing that get me. It was two brothers, that it really turned me off, and then he giving this little cry speech, you know what I'm saying? Like thinking that your behavior, that your behavior was okay. It definitely was not okay. And did you guys hear what he said Denzel Washington said to him? He said to him, at your highest peak, that's when the devil is working. And I'm like, yep, that really, really just left a bad taste in my. So did any of you guys see any footage of Jada? That's what I want to know. Did anybody see any footage of Jada, like her reaction when he came up, when he did that? Like I was saying earlier, like I understand how she felt. You understand? Because, I also have issues with my hair as well. I have scarring alopecia. So, trust me, I understand how she, how she feel. But I also understand that, I'm grown. And I understand, that sometimes in this life, people are going to say some things, and people are going to do things. All of us can understand that. All of us know that we live a life right now where, we grown, stuff has happened and people have said stuff, but you just got to operate in self-control, the same way we teach our children. Because if we didn't, all of us would be out here swinging and fighting folks, because of what they said, what they did. And we go through, all of us we go through, you know what I'm saying? So, but I do understand that it left a bad taste. And I know how she felt, because when we have certain things that happen to us, especially when sickness causes certain things that happen to our bodies, and, you feel bad because it's not something that you asked for. You know what I'm saying? You don't nobody asks for alopecia. Nobody asks for, certain stuff to, happen to us. But sometimes it happens. But you gotta be the best you. You just gotta do what, you know what I'm saying? But it didn't definitely cause for that man to get slapped in the face, And I'm a big advocate against, I don't think it's right to, be hitting people and stuff. Like, I just think it's so wrong. It's such an invasion. You understand? It's such an invasion of people's space, I just think that's the worst thing that you could do to somebody, is to go and, and put your hands on somebody. I just don't, Now, I understand that there's times where that it may have to happen, if you're protecting yourself. I understand, like, there's times, but over something that somebody says, you got to operate in self-control. So that's just my take. That's just my take on it, So let me hear. I can be getting ready to go into this bank. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for responding and talking to me and everything, stuff like that. I really appreciate it. All right. So you guys have a beautiful and wonderful day, and don't forget that you are blessed and highly favored. Mwah.